The Allmend tunnel was opened to traffic in 1972 with the express highway. The tunnel was built in an open excavation pit in the area of the Waffenplatz tomb. The tunnel has a total length of 950 meters and is constructed out of 76 blocks, each with a length of 12.5 meters. The tunnel is being rebuilt with traffic continuing to flow in one of the respective vehicular tubes. The traffic from the tubes being rebuilt will be diverted over the Allmend bypass. All work to be done during the tunnel renovation will start at both portals. Work starts in phases towards the center of the tunnel. Work on underpinning the foundations, lowering the road surface level, and straightening the lateral jet-grouted column walls has already been completed. The flashback shows the parts of the tunnel in the first video that were not completed yet. The underpinning of the center wall was already partly completed and is shown here as an animation only. The foundations were underpinned after construction of the jet-grouted columns using the Pilgrim method. Underpinning and rebuilding of the jet-grouted column wall. At first, the sloping walls are pulled down using the Pilgrim method. Afterwards, the side wall is secured in 2 steps with sprayed concrete. Then the structural concrete is placed for one whole block at a time. The foundation footing is reinforced and concreted first, and then the wall is concreted. Demolition of the cable channel and foundations. Demolition of the first test section. Demolition of the second section, first floor. Securing with sprayed concrete. Demolition of the intermediate sections. Demolition of the previously constructed jet-grouted columns is very laborious. Securing with sprayed concrete. Secured with sprayed concrete to the total depth. Preparing the sprayed concrete in the intermediate sections. Invert concrete for the foundation footing. Formwork for the foundation footing. Completed foundation footing. Wall reinforcement. An intermediate section being concreted. Formwork reinforcement of last jet-grouted column wall. Completed wall element. Steel shoring is then erected for the section to be broken out in the SOS niches. The section can be broken out after that. First the concrete, then the earth is excavated. First, sprayed concrete is used for securing purposes, then the reinforcement and the concrete for the structural concrete are placed. After that, the center wall and the ceiling are concreted. Installation of structural steelwork. Core drilling of the concrete. Broken out section of concrete. Soil excavation securing with sprayed concrete. Installation of stabilization arches. Wall reinforcement. Wall formwork. Ceiling formwork. Finishing the top of the ceiling. Concreting. Completion of the wall concrete. Reinforcement of the intermediate wall. Installing the cable conduits. Cable joining chamber, drainage conduit. Installing the end level, hydrant preparation. Installing the SOS cabinet. Finish with hydrant. Escape door formwork. Escape door concreting. Escape door finish. Once this work is completed, the center wall can be reinforced. First, the wall hooks for fixing the reinforcement are installed, then the vertical reinforcement. After that, the horizontal reinforcement. Each second section is reinforced. Two teams are working from both portals towards the tunnel center. In the meantime, the formwork carriage for the center wall has already been built. Face concrete only a few centimeters thick is installed onto the front of the center wall. Firstly, the front carriage concretes every second section. Once the carriage is in position, it must be anchored to the opposite side to ensure stability. The vehicular tubes are behind the center wall. This is where the grouted anchors are attached. Once this is done, the concrete can be placed. When the concrete is set, the grouted anchors can be removed. The formwork carriage can move horizontally on a track and moves to the section after the next one. All the individual steps are repeated there, and this continues, section for section, until the tunnel center is reached. The front formwork carriages, which are working towards each other from both sides, meet in the tunnel center. The so-called rear carriages start from the two portals time-delayed to the front carriages. The rear carriages also meet at the center of the tunnel. Foundation footing complete. Installing the reinforcement hooks. Several sections of reinforcements completed. Escape door formwork. Escape door surrounded in reinforcement. Constructed wall formwork, front carriage. Wall formwork, rear carriage. Wall formwork during concreting. Reworking of the wall formwork. The ceiling vault must also be reinforced with concrete. To do this, a reinforcement carriage is needed first. This is set up as soon as the rear carriage for the center wall reinforcement has concreted the first sections. All carriages move on tracks in the tunnel. Once the reinforcement carriage is in position, next the arch reinforcement is installed. Then the transverse reinforcement is installed from both sides of the vault. After that, the front carriage is used for the concreting process. The vault has been cut open so that the concreting process can be seen. The concrete is filled from both sides of the vault. The trickiest point is the crown of the vault. Here the shuttering must be compact. In the meantime, the section after the next one has already been fitted with reinforcement. The front carriage can move to this section. Once the formwork has been stripped and the front carriage moved to the next section, the reworking carriage is used. This ensures a uniform stabilization of the concrete and attainment of the planned strength by applying heat and covering the concrete. As soon as the front carriage has produced the first sections, the rear carriage begins the concreting process. All carriages work from both portals towards the tunnel center. While the front carriages and rear carriages work towards the center, the work to create the jet-grouted column wall and to reinforce the center wall is not complete. Sealing the joints. Installation of the movable undercarriage of the formwork carriage. Further completion of the formwork carriage. Completed formwork carriage. Completed formwork carriage exterior. Reinforcement carriage in a new position. Installing the ceiling reinforcement on the reinforcement carriage. Detailed view of the reinforcement with ceiling hooks. Headway control reinforcement. Connection of the ceiling reinforcement to the wall reinforcement. Completion of the ceiling reinforcement. Reinforcement of the next ceiling sections. Formwork carriage in motion. Rework carriage on second to last ceiling section. Rework carriage at the last ceiling sections. Formwork carriage pulled out after completion. Whilst the reinforcement of the ceiling proceeds, the required pipeline construction is already being installed from both portals. The hydrant pipeline, the drainage pipe and the sewer pipe are laid. The laying of the cable joining chambers and cable conduit systems also begins. The cable conduit system is mainly routed on the outer wall and to a lesser extent on the center wall. Various lines must be routed from the center outwards and to the 7 SOS niches. Once all the lines have been laid, the work on filling the road area and soft shoulders can start. Gullies are installed to ensure a reliable connection between the slit drainage gutters. They have a baffle, which is the siphon, that prevents light liquids such as gasoline or burning gasoline from entering the receiving body. After installing the gullies, the slit drainage gutters are installed. The soft shoulders at the sides can be completed. Once the side closure for the road is finished, the concrete ceiling can be installed. Gully with sewer pipe. Installing the slit drainage gutters and cable conduit systems. Concreting rainwater pipe. Sewer pipe encased in concrete. Cable conduit system and drainage pipe. Completion of the cable conduits and slit drainage gutters. Center and side soft shoulder completed. Soft shoulder with poured asphalt completed. Compaction of road substructure. Substructure completed. Cover for gullies. Installing the cover for the gullies. Preparing the concrete road finisher. Concrete supplied to the concrete road finisher. A broom finish is applied to the fresh concrete to correct the roughness of the road. After the concrete has set, the joints can be cut. Completed concrete pavement. The SOS niches are also completed during the time of pipeline construction. The drainage conduit is installed first. After that, the hydrant, the center wall, and the door seal of the SOS niche. The tunnel is now complete except for the operating and safety equipment. Once all wall, ceiling and roadwork is complete, the entire interior of the tunnel is recorded with a 3D scan.